I went out trapping this winter. How far from Dawson? 135 miles by Skidoo. Meat, potatoes, vegetables. Is my main diet when I'm in the bush like that. I had company a couple times. The game branch came up to, check out how I was doing. Learned a lot from my dad, and then I've learned a lot from talking to other trappers, and a lot of just trial and error. You find out, okay, well, this trapper sets traps in this particular way, and you try it and it doesn't quite work for you, so you change it a little bit, and pretty soon you end up with your own style. The general principle is all the same, but there's little subtle differences that an untrained eye might not even pick up. I was born and raised about 130 or about 100 miles out of Dawson on the river. The river was the highway. The river is our Autobahn. Dad and Mom gave me a rifle when I was 9. I bought my second rifle when I was 14. My mom's from New York City. She was born and raised in Manhattan. In 1987, we were living in the bush at a place called Thistle Creek. My parents decided that we were going to go to New York in March. We went into New York and it was the worst month of my life. It was absolutely terrifying. The biggest fear for me was the people. You gotta remember, I came from a place where my nearest neighbors were another family of 6. They lived 8 miles away, by dog team or skidoo or motorboat, no roads, no cars, had very little, if any, experience with any of that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden I'm in an area of 12 million people. To me, people were, and to this day still are, dangerous. Everything else, wild animals, I know how they think, I know how they react to to different situations. I can deal with them. It's not to say that I'm not necessarily have a fear of dangerous animals such as bears and stuff like that, but I know them and have a healthy respect for them. I have very little idea of how to deal with people partly because of my upbringing and partly because of my continued remote lifestyle. To most people, wild animals and the bush lifestyle is an unknown quantity and is very scary. To me, it's exactly the opposite, because I don't know. In cities, there are no horizons. There's no landmarks. There's no way to find your way around unless you're from a city or know how to get around in a city. You're lost. You can't see the hills. You can't see the trees. There's no landmarks. Buildings made by man all look the same. To me, and to a lot of other bush kids and bush people that have continued a remote lifestyle living in small towns, mass numbers of people like that are terrifying because people are dangerous to us. Whereas, say, you're from Paris or you're from London or you're from New York or Montreal or Toronto, and you went into my lifestyle or out where I go for 2.5 or 3 months, 4 months by myself and love every minute of being out there by myself. If you took someone from one of those places that was born and raised there and put them out there, one, they wouldn't know how to survive. They would die eventually, because they wouldn't know how to live in that environment. So it wouldn't be fair to do it to them. It's the same the other way around for me.
Dire.